You ever have one of those moments where you realize your so-called dream home might just turn into a nightmare before you even finish unpacking? Yeah, that's how it started for me. First day in our new place, sweating in the Texas heat, my wife hollering about boxes, my kids running wild in the yard, and my neighbor hits me with this: "You don't belong here." Not angry, not loud, just quiet enough to make the hairs on my neck stand up. And let me tell you, after years in the Navy, after all the crap I'd seen in places like Afghanistan and Iraq, that one sentence stuck. But I shook it off. This was supposed to be our reset button. I was 37, done with deployments, just wanted a place to let my kids ride bikes and maybe grill a steak on Sundays. House wasn't much, just a sturdy brick two-story with a yard I actually looked forward to mowing. My wife Simone was buzzing with garden plans. Our boy Caleb and his little sister Mia raced up and down the sidewalk, their laughter bouncing off the mailboxes. But right from the start, I felt eyes on us, curtains, twitching neighbors, pausing a little too long conversations, trailing off when we got close. Some folks waved, but others, they just stared. First night, I'm nursing a cold beer on the porch, and here comes this slim, polo-wearing guy, clipboard and all, introducing himself as Mark Ridley, president of the Homeowners Association. "Just want to welcome you to the neighborhood," he says, but his eyes are already locked on the American flag I'd hung out front. "That flagpole looks about 2 feet taller than what's permitted," he says, flat as drywall. "We'll need to address that." I laughed, thought he was kidding. "Sir, I served under that flag for almost 20 years. I'm not lowering it." He smiles, but it's one of those tight, joyless ones. "We'll see." And just like that, I knew this guy wasn't about to leave us alone. Days go by, and Ridley keeps coming back. Trash cans, too visible basketball hoop in the driveway, kids too loud at dusk. Simone tells me to ignore it, but I know his type people who get off on poking you, trying to make you snap so they can say, "See, I was right." One day I'm washing my truck and Ridley's on me again. "You might want to watch how often you have visitors. This isn't that kind of neighborhood." I'm thinking, what the hell kind is that? He stares at me, cool as ever, one with standards, and just walks off. I'd fought tooth and nail for a slice of peace, and this guy wanted to make me the outsider, like I was the problem. I told myself I wasn't going to bite, but it was just the beginning. That night, tucking in the kids, I see Ridley's car parked at the corner longer than usual. That old military instinct is buzzing. There's more going on than just petty complaints. Next morning, there's a yellow violation notice taped to our door, trash cans in the wrong spot, even though I measured to the inch. Wasn't about city rules, wasn't about the cans, it was about us. Simone finds me fuming in the entryway. Another one, and I can barely get the words out. It became routine: grass too long, car an inch too close to the curb, holiday lights too bright. I kept records, photos, every bit of proof. But it wore me down, wore my family down. One night the kids ask about having friends over. Simone gives me a look. She doesn't want them to feel like prisoners in their own home. But she also doesn't want Ridley ammo for his next note. "Maybe not tonight, buddy," I tell Caleb. And I can feel the anger settling in my bones. Ridley would stroll by, jotting notes sometimes, pretending to be polite if Simone was out front, but I'd catch him muttering to neighbors, "We'll get this under control," like we were some infestation. Eventually, I couldn't take it. I confronted him right there by the fence he claimed needed painting. "Mark, this was painted 6 months ago. What's your problem?" He just smirks. "Our standards are higher." Drops the bomb. "You know, a friend of mine on the police force lives nearby. Doesn't take kindly to rule breakers." The way he said it, it was a threat, not a warning. Simone says he's bluffing, but my gut tells me he's got friends with badges. Next thing I know, I'm getting pulled over on my way home. New car, no reason. Officer claims a broken taillight. It's a lie, but arguing won't help. I hand over my ID, keep my hands visible. The officer, Halverson, stares too long before letting me go. When I pull into my driveway, Ridley's out there chatting up another cop, Mercer. Message received. From then on, the patrol cars come by more and more. Simone gets nervous when she takes the kids to the store, says a cruiser followed her around the parking lot. I start to feel trapped, like every move I make is under surveillance. And it isn't just me feeling it. The kids start asking why cops always drive by our house. Mia starts pulling the curtains closed whenever she sees blue lights in the distance. It finally blows up one sticky Thursday evening sunset, painting the sky. I'm helping Caleb with homework when a knock rattles the door. Ridley stands there, clipboard ready, accusing the kids of disturbing the peace. Simone steps up. They're just playing Mr. Ridley, but he just smirks. If they can't respect the rules, there will be consequences. That word hangs in the air like a thundercloud. You're harassing us, I tell him. You've been on my property more times this month than my own neighbors. But he's unfazed. Maybe you'll listen to someone else, and that someone is wearing a badge. Sure enough, next time I'm mowing, Halverson and Mercer show up, reports of aggressive behavior, they say. From who I ask, already knowing. Ridley, of course. Simone tries to defend me, but the officers make it clear they're not here for justice, they're here for their buddy. That night, sitting at the dining table, Simone makes tea and whispers, "We can't live like this." I tell her I won't let Ridley drive us out. But deep down, I'm not sure how to fight back. From there, it just gets worse. I get pulled over again. This time, Mercer claims I rolled a stop sign. He drags out the paperwork, making sure all the neighbors see me sitting there like a criminal. Simone starts skipping community events. Even the kids pick up on it. Caleb wants to know what we did wrong. I try to reassure him, but it's hard when you're doubting yourself. The breaking point comes one muggy night. I'm taking out the trash and Ridley appears, flanked by Halverson. "Your cans are still visible," he says, and Halverson steps forward. "We'd advise you to comply." I bite my tongue, but Simone comes out, voice sharp. "This is harassment." Ridley tells her to be careful what she says. I tell them I serve this country. I know the difference between peacekeeping and targeting a family. Halverson just says we'll be back, and back they come hard. That night there's a pounding on our door. Simone freezes. The kids are terrified. I open up, and it's Halverson and Mercer Ridley grinning from the sidewalk. "We've had reports you're threatening neighbors," they say. When I refuse to step out, Halverson shoves me. Mercer twists my arm and slams me against the siding. My kids screaming in the doorway, Simone trying to fight them off. "Stop resisting," they shout as they cuff me, blood dripping from my eyebrow, all in front of my family. They drag me to the cruiser. "Should have kept your head down," Hero Mercer mutters. "I've faced worse, but never felt so humiliated, my own kids watching as I'm hauled off like a criminal." Simone gets me out the next day, but the damage is done. The police report as a pack of lies became combative resisted arrest. And Ridley struts around like he won. I try to file a complaint, but the desk sergeant tells me to use the proper channels. Good luck with that. Simone suggests calling my old Navy buddies. I hesitate, but she's right. That night, after putting the kids to bed, I call Ethan, my old commanding officer. "It's bad here," I tell him. He doesn't hesitate. "Send me your address. I'm bringing the boys." The next day, Ethan shows up with 3 other SEALs, Ryan, Miguel, and Sam. They're not in uniform, but you can tell by the way they move, calm, watchful, a quiet wall behind me. Ridley tries to puff his chest, but Ethan meets his stare. "You must be Ridley. We're here to make sure our friends' rights are respected." Ridley's swagger fades, but he still tries to flex, calls an emergency HOA meeting to rally the neighborhood. But this time when I walk in with Ethan and the team, the mood shifts. Folks who used to whisper now look away from Ridley. The balance is tilting. We install cameras. We document everything. Miguel sends files to a Dallas reporter and a veterans legal group. Ridley and the cops double down. Halverson's out front taking pictures, trying to intimidate us, but Ethan's recording everything. When a neighbor finally speaks up at a meeting, "This has gone too far," others start to nod. "The spell is breaking," the Dallas reporter calls. "Ready to go on record?" she asks. I hesitate, but Ethan's beside me. It's the only way. The story hits Texas veteran alleges HOA and police harassment goes viral overnight. Ridley loses his nerve, starts hiding behind closed blinds. The police issue a canned statement, but the videos we posted online tell the real story. Me bloodied and screaming, I'm not resisting on my own porch, it's ugly, but the truth's out now. By the end of the month, Ridley steps down as HOA president. Halverson and Mercer get placed on leave. Neighbors who'd kept quiet start waving, some even apologizing. My flag's still flying high untouched. And for the first time since we moved in, my kids play in the yard without Simone rushing to pull them inside. Ethan and the guys stick around for a barbecue. We laugh, we toast to peace, and I realize sometimes standing your ground means letting the world see the fight, not just surviving it. So if you're watching this and you've ever felt outnumbered, ever been told you don't belong, remember, it only takes one voice to start a storm. But it's the voices that stand beside you that change the outcome. Now tell me, where do you draw the line between order and oppression? Would you have fought or walked away? Drop your story in the comments. I want to hear how you define justice, because home should always mean safe, and no one should have the power to steal that from you.